Is there any room on the wall?
No, you can't get to it. That's the problem. Without going up that way, you can from there.
That's what I'm saying, but when you're on it, it's wide enough.
Just about.
You know, there was we were a bit frightened over the last few years that the America's Cup may become a pure commercial event with no respect of the tradition, history of the long history of the trophy. So it's great to come back to the Royal Yacht Squadron, where it all started 167 years ago, and to bring back the spirit, the respect of the tradition of the America's Cup. Today is the official launch of the next America's Cup, next edition of the America's Cup, which is now in the hand of the New Zealanders, and with the help of Prada, they will set the rules today of the next edition of the Cup in New Zealand. I was invited to go to Bermuda, and I decided not to go. I criticized the way they organized that. I did not understand why they would not sail the event in America, because one of the only thing you win when you win the America's Cup is to bring the cup to your country. So after winning San Francisco, why Coutts & Co didn't stay in America? So I was very surprised with the choice of Bermuda, which is, in my opinion, not an ideal place for the cup, because there is no public, there is not much facilities, and I think they went there only for pure commercial reasons, which is, in my opinion, a mistake. Because the cup is here. When the Aircraft Museum wanted to have another ceremony for the Hall of Fame, America's Cup Hall of Fame, I told them, because normally the Hall of Fame ceremony is always in America, I told them, why don't you go to Cowes, to the Royal Yacht Squadron, where it all started? Would bring, would be good for the event, and they accepted that. And then I managed to have a link between the Aircraft Museum and Prada, for Prada to be the associate, to be the sponsor of the event. And we have also Mum Champagne, which is, as you know, a traditional brand in sailing, with the Mum Admiral's Cup organized here. So I brought Mum as an official champagne as well. It's very difficult to make. We have a choice. The cup must be the leading edge of sailing. That means the boats, we cannot sail the America's Cup on the big cats, okay? If we were to sail the America's Cup on the cheap boats, there would be many nations, many people, but it would not be the America's Cup. On the other hand, this edition of the America's Cup will be quite costly compared to the previous ones. That's why we have at this moment, only 3 challengers. But, remember the old days? There were a few very strong challengers and a bunch of challengers which were involved in the show for other reasons, for pride, but not to win. They were not coming to the event to win. Here we will have 3 very strong teams, but not the players. The cup is extremely rich. No one realizes that, but when you put together the energy, the money, the lives which were involved over the last nearly 200 years to win the cup, it's amazing to see the energy again and the personalities involved in the cup over the 200 years. It's really impressive. And this is, in my opinion, what drives people to the cup. The responsibility of the America's Cup is to show the way to the future. And as you know, the cup has been on the edge of technology forever, and this time to have monohulls with foils, it's really impressive, and no one expected that to be possible. So, in fact, the energy which has been spent on development on the monohulls after what was spent on development of multi-hulls is just logical. When we came up with this idea of coming back to the monohulls, everybody was saying, "Wow, monohulls, you are old dinosaurs." It's crazy. Why don't we stick to multi-hulls? And we told people, okay, spend the right money on research, and I'm sure we'll come up with the right monohull. Will be very impressive. And here we are now. It's very American. This exists in America, Hall of Fame for any sport. I think it's great to recognize those people, even dead people. Here we are going to honor Doug Peterson, who was a designer of Black Magic, the very impressive boat, never beaten. And I think it's very important to have this kind of what do you say, church, pantheon, where you regroup the big names of any sport. I think it's a good idea. For sure, it's very old-fashioned. Some people do not understand why we recognize some sailors or players who were involved 50, 80, 100 years ago, but we do. after a century, we suddenly discover their merits. But it's great, and I know that Patrizio Bertelli was inducted, and Bertali has been inducted, and John Marshall this time, who has won the America's Cup several times. I think it's great. It's a great move.